One of the duties of journalists is to educate the public about events and issues in relation to how they affect their lives. In the course of discharging their professional duties, many journalists are often exposed to hazards that could prevent them from effectively performing their roles of reporting news information to the public. Media men all around the globe have routinely come under various forms of threats. Some have even paid the price of reporting news with their lives. In Nigeria, there have been several reported cases of harassment and manhandling of men of the pen profession by security operatives. The case of the invasion of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ's) office in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, by soldiers is still very fresh. Also, the dust is yet to settle on the issue of attacks on some members of the pen profession in Osogbo, capital of the state of Osun, by officers of the Department of State Security (DSS) while on an official assignment. These are but a few out of the numerous cases of harassment journalists have had to suffer while carrying out their duties. Mr. Timothy Agbo is one of the victims of such molestation, and he recounted his experience to OSBC News.
A lady accosted me, demanded to know who I was. I told her that I'm a journalist, and I asked her too, who are you? I said that I don't have any right to question her, that I should produce my ID card. The next thing she did is to summon a personnel who was armed to deal with me, that I was bantering words with her. Immediately, the armed personnel dragged my colleague Toba Adedeji, and she also, the lady in question, dragged me also beside the road. They were manhandling me, they started assaulting me, and the other guy now pounced on me, started brutalizing me, kicking me from all fronts, raising punches at me. I sustained injuries here on my neck because he was pinching at my neck while raising the punches. Here was swollen up before I was attended to in the hospital.
The Osun State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ), Mr. Abiodun Lalere, believes that there are relevant laws protecting media men in the discharge of their duties, but it behoves on the security agencies to ensure the safety of journalists. He maintained that journalists and security operatives are partners in progress and must work hand in hand for the benefit of all.
It is not limited to security operatives alone. We have had instances when even labor leaders, students on rampage, are molested, embarrassed, even destroyed or damaged our gadgets. But it is worrisome when you tell that it happens to security operatives, because they are in a position to know better. They also have a duty to protect that journalist because he's part of the crowd.
Speaking in the same vein, another journalist, Mr. Soji Adeniyi, attributed the incessant attacks on journalists to ignorance. He advocated quality training for security operatives in order to equip them with basic knowledge about how to handle civil issues.
Security men and journalists work towards the same purpose. And only where we have the difference is how we process the information we gather.
In his submissions, Mr. Oluwole Ige stressed the need for all relevant authorities to ensure the safety of media personnel in every part of the country.
I feel very concerned about the insensate and unwarranted harassment being suffered by journalists in the discharge of their responsibilities in Nigeria. And it has become imperative on the part of the relevant government authorities to ensure the safety of journalists.
The speakers also spoke on the need for journalists to be cautious of their utterances and approach to uniformed men. Oluchi Amuja, OSBC News.